Village witches drained her blood every night until she did this. Story by King Enfros.
In the forgotten heart of a thick forest in southeastern Nigeria, tucked between the hills and woven in mist, lay a cursed village called Umokoro. To the outsider, it was a quiet, thriving community, red earth roads, laughter of children, market women calling prices of yam and okra, but deep within, a dark wind blew through a single family line. The family of Ojugo. This family, for generations, carried a secret wound, a crack in their foundation, a spiritual error buried by ancestors in a desperate quest for wealth and protection. No one spoke about it, but everyone whispered. For in the house of Ojugo, children rarely lived long enough to see their stars rise. The blood of promise. It started subtly. Each child born in the Ojugo family had charm, intelligence, and a bright future. But just when good things were about to happen, just before a scholarship, a marriage proposal, a job abroad, death would creep in like a thief in the night. The boys would complain of vivid dreams. "Mama, I saw a beautiful woman in my sleep." She would appear on the third night of success, a glowing, seductive woman, her hair like woven shadows, her voice a whisper of honey and death. She would sleep with the male child. Slowly. Repeatedly. He would wake up drenched in sweat, weak, confused. His strength would dry like the harmattan wind drying laundry on a line. His eyes would grow hollow, his bones weary. In less than a week, he would die. Empty. The last breath sucked from him like wind escaping a punctured calabash. For the girls, it was worse. Their dreams were full of darkness. They would feel a choking weight on their chest at night. A woman's face, sometimes familiar, sometimes not, would lean over them and suck from their neck, breast, thighs. They would wake up sore, pale, and bleeding from places with no wounds. Slowly, their beauty would waste. Their eyes would sink, hair fall off, skin grow gray. Until one day, they would simply dry up and die. No one ever found wounds. No doctor could explain. No pastor lasted more than a week praying in that house before falling ill or fleeing. The root of darkness. Many years before, the founder of the family, Dike Ojugo, a great warrior, had visited a powerful shrine during the slave raids. He asked for protection from invaders and barrenness. The gods answered with a pact: "Your lineage will not lack, but the blood of your own must feed us forever." Dike agreed. He built his wealth. But when he died, the covenant remained. And from that day, witches began to gather unseen, unfelt by ordinary men. But real. They met in the deep forest, near the banyan tree behind the Ojugo compound. At night, they turned into owls, bats, black cats. By day, they lived among the people, quiet, smiling, pretending. Some were market women. Some were churchgoers. One of them was Mercy's own aunt. Mercy, a different blood. Mercy was the seventh child in her family. By the time she was 15, she had buried all her siblings. First, her brothers died. Then her sisters. One by one. She was beautiful, with eyes that saw more than most. At 18, she felt the same drain. Nightmares. Sleeplessness. Her skin turned pale. But Mercy fought back differently. She slept with men, not out of pleasure, but to absorb energy. She discovered, strangely, that the more she slept with certain strong men, the more alive she felt. It was as if their strength pushed back the decay in her body. With each encounter, she stayed one step ahead of death. But it came with shame. Rumors. Gossip. Mercy is a harlot. That's why her siblings died. She's cursed. She hated herself. Until one night, she had a dream that changed everything. The fire dream. She saw herself in a large room, chained, surrounded by shadows of women, witches. One by one, they mocked her. You think sleeping with men will save you? We've tasted your blood since you were in the womb. Your mother cried the day you were born because she knew we were coming. Then a great wind blew through the room. A man in white appeared, glowing. He touched her chains and they melted like wax. He said, "Mercy, it is time to fight. But not with flesh. Not with sex. With spirit. Come to me, and I will give you fire." She woke up shaking. It was 3 a.m. That morning, she walked barefoot to the village church. It was abandoned. She cleaned it. Prayed. Fasted. Cried. For 7 days. On the 8th night, she received her first vision. The hunter of witches. Mercy began to walk in power. She could sense witches. Smell their spirits. Hear their chants even in silence. She would walk into a room and witches would begin to tremble. She began midnight prayers. Worship under moonlight. She was filled with tongues of fire. Scriptures burned in her spirit. She would go from house to house, laying hands on the sick, speaking life to the dying. Every time a witch tried to enter her dream, they would be met by a wall of light. Some never returned. She fought battles. Some witches appeared physically, scratching her door at night, standing on rooftops in the shape of owls. But she fought. Every single night. Until one day, she came face to face with the leader. It was her Aunt Moniego, her mother's elder sister. She had raised Mercy. Fed her. Prayed with her. But in secret, she was the high priestess of the blood covenant, the leader of the circle of 13 witches in Umokoro. She wore a red bead carved from the bones of Mercy's dead sister. Her staff was an old broom soaked in children's blood. The confrontation was fierce. "Mercy, you fool. I gave your mother wealth. And you, now, you want to end what fed you." Mercy stood tall. "You fed us death. But I now feed on life. And no more blood shall spill from Ojugo's children." They battled in the spirit. Flames. Screams. Visions. Mercy cast her out along with the other 12. Some died physically. Some ran mad. Others fled the village. That night, the sky over Umokoro turned red, then clear for the first time in generations. A new foundation. Mercy rebuilt the family altar, not with sacrifices of blood, but with prayer, fasting, worship, and love. She married a godly man, bore children, and none of them died. Other families brought their cursed children to her. She raised warriors. She trained intercessors. She burned evil groves. She led revivals in remote parts of the forest. She exposed wicked shrines that had long controlled families. She became known as Mercy the Flame. Not because she was perfect, but because she rose from ashes and chose to fight. Lessons from Mercy. Every spiritual battle has a root. Dig deep. Sleeping around may delay spiritual attacks, but it cannot defeat them. When you don't know who you are, you become food for those who do. The enemy often hides within family foundations. Only spiritual fire can fight spiritual bloodsuckers. Christ is the only deliverance strong enough to break ancient pacts.
If you love this story, please follow, subscribe, comment, like, and share to others.